Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Psych Defender of the Fatherland, of yet an exciting 2 vs 2 on Alliance of Defiance. The setting is 1944. Somewhere in the western Ukraine, the Germans are desperately establishing a fresh defensive line to hold back the Russian steamroller. And in the south, we got Captain Speirs and Artavick leading this. No, that's actually Dietrich and Hanyang. For the Germans, actually, never mind. I got a bit confused there. Finding note for the German army, Deutschland. Forming up here, the Sperrverbande von Sauken. In the north, we got Captain Speirs and Artavick leading ahead the search steamroller. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, taking on the role of the First Guards Mechanized Corps with Mechanized Support, so combined arms, Armored Assault, more Armored Assault, got motor and anti-infantry tactics versus Jaeger armor here for DK. I'm just going to call him Dietrich. And Hanyang here with fortifications, Luftwaffe, and special operations with Grenadier MG42s there for Dietrich. Double fortress Steel Pioneers here for Hanyang. Captain Speirs with penal troopers. And we got, I imagine, just counters there for Artavick. No sign of Maxims and Mortis. The latest expansion for Dungeons and Dragons, Maxims and Mortis. MG42 setting up here. Got the engineers coming down there with the most of the guns, firing at the MG42, which just actually can't hit them. Noting the wiring here blocks off the path here, but also straight here, so only the northern player can easily access this house. Further tips from Home Improvement can be found in Artavick's Home Improvement book, Home Improvement with Barbed Wire. Yes, I know it's not a creative title, by Artavick. Got penal troops and engineers moving up against the foot grenadiers in the southeast. We've got the Steel Pioneers grabbing the fuel point here. Grenadiers moving on the engineers here by the central victory point. Skirmishing between the Pioneers and the conscripts there. We got a snap on the way for Dietrich there to bleed his way through the Bolsheviks to pop any Marxist head he sees. Penal troops moving forward here with SPT-40 semi-automatic rifles. Fultons there versus Grenadier, getting off a few hits here. Engineers against the Pioneers here, they'll go to hits before Pioneers close in to match. The Engineers have a good chance, or in this case the Pioneers never go close. Up here we've got a big issue in the MG42, but sadly found themselves suppressed. They need to get out of it. Snap on the way there for Dietrich. Pioneers for him to cover the flank here, but the constant advancing too swiftly, I think, for the Pioneers to really achieve match, really, in particular. We've got an hoorah there. Artavick's men rousing themselves to greater glories for the motherland, and another extra ration of vodka. Constant there being suppressed, MG42 being dealt with there. Around the centre of the fortress are being kept at bay here by Captain Speirs. So far it seems like the Russian strategy is just basically try to isolate either player here and deal with. In this case they're focusing on the one with the, shall we say, less walls and compartments where they need to dig into, which actually makes a lot of sense. So now it's of course up to Hanyang here to assist his teammate, but now Captain Speirs is sort of not quite keen along that, while at the same time he's trying to move up behind Dietrich here. So I kind of like this sort of, shall we say, opening strategy here by Speirs and Artavick. Good team play there. Hanyang and Dietrich so far struggling a bit against this, perhaps not quite realising what those Russians were up to. Constantly down here through the centre, now they're falling back, lacking machine gun at the front line at the moment due to being pushed off. Then infantry, the Artavick is able to push through and basically dislodge the Germans very forcefully here. In the east though, Hanyang is breaking through. Speirs flank line in that does leave Artavick's flank now deeply exposed. We'll have to see if Hanyang actually goes for it, or he might find himself occupied here by more harassment here from Speirs, who quickly sweeps up a few mines there laid down by Hanyang. When these are dealing with the conscript, might see some more Molotovs out here from Artavick as he has resources, of course boosting the combat efficiency of his conscripts. Poor Petrov there making out, they're just barely healing up here for him, very good there. Push here, Strafniki versus Sturm Pioneer Volksgrenadiers. Simply, I think, too many Germans, so the addition of extra troops might tip the scales in favour of the motherland. But right here, the Sturm Pioneers getting focused down. Good prioritisation, I think, there by Speirs. Sturm Pioneers doing what they can, but ultimately it's not quite enough. And Senegal forcing the Pioneers out, but with the flame Pioneers in the hand, they should be able to pull through. Hanyang there going for the mechanised regiment. Luxus and Pumas on hand soon enough. Do we need to take over there for the Germans? We do, but not like to make a nice company as of yet. These are there by with minesweepers, anticipating here that Artavick is already laying down mines. He's a sharp and certainly to an extent careful player there. Certainly not a bad assumption to make. Most players will try and sneak down some mines if they can. Though of course with Artavick talking about Molotovs, there are fireworks, and in Artavick, well, they might just be... I mean, there's less room for mines, so in that sense the minesweeper could possibly be overcautious, but of course there's also potential of Speirs doing it, so, you know, still makes a bit of sense. But a sort of decent read and Artavick throwing Molotovs about could of course told him, yeah, minesweepers are possibly not a priority. Of course, they're still of course nice to have. But Minesweeper was there grabbing the fuel point here, no further mines there for Hanyang, who's on the defensive. He should probably consider machine gun to help, you know, contain Speirs' troops plus Artavick's. Machine guns tend to be pretty handy in this department, even the MD-34 there for the German army. Artavick grenade flashed through the air and actually was close to doing some major damage out of the conscripts, but not quite fortunate enough there for Dietrich. The Sperrverbande von Sachsen, though, otherwise finding himself in the defensive against the 1st Guards mechanized corps. We got mechanized support hereby for Captain Speirs, opening up for the Guardsmen. DP light machine guns being added. MD-42 hanging back, Consular versus Grenadiers, shots being fired, and we got another Molotov here, Frangible of Doom. There you go, Conscripts being more or less murdered. He looks like Artavick for once is not quite paying attention, and we could see his first wipe. Yes, indeed, quite a blow there to Artavick. But otherwise, trying to move about, he caught by the MD-42 though. Nicely set up there by Dietrich. Hanyang not seeing himself as being a big machine gun fan. Assault labs up and we got the looks there for Hanyang. I mean, that can also do the trick, but doesn't quite successfully lock down an infant assault in some ways. Constant engineers being westwards there. Dietrich not really got a lot here but the fuel point itself, so he's going to have to constantly counterattack into it, which does have a few disadvantages. Like to make a nice company up for him. For the Red Army, we got the supporting company up. Maximus and mortars, again, could be useful here for Artavick. And he goes for the field gun though. Not a bad idea either. I mean, obviously there's the anticipation there, but looks even 2-2s, in which case having some meant to attack them to slow down any such meshes will be quite handy. Folks will wiped out there. Quite a blow there to Hanyang. He's running up. We've got engineers being snapped here by the, well, sniper. He does what it says on the tin. I mean, you can't complain about false advertising there. Like the Mega Deathtron 2005, which quite disappointed Mussolini back in 1941. Cavaliers versus conscript engineers being slowly overwhelmed here. Note by the way he's merging the conscript engineers, ensuring they're always at full combat strength. At least I think he is. Yes. Clever move there. Not a lot of players make use of the merge, but sharp players like Artavick, besides home improvement, are also masters in dispersing troops where they're needed. 2-2 they're moving in. Their first vehicle up for the German army looks moving up as well here, so the Germans managed to scram together enough light vehicles to form up a small, concentrated what would you call it? Not quite a Panzergruppe, Aufklärungsgruppe? Ersatzpanzergruppe. Yeah. I love the word Ersatz. It's sort of a funny word. Gun looks moving up, engineers being blasted, Fultz is moving up there. Penals moving from the north, grabbing the centre victory point here. Was not Pioneers almost wiped out by the conscripts. In this case, the mines does not really confer any advantage in dealing with dug-in conscripts, no matter how much they like. Looks falling back here. Stuffnik coming up, backed up by Minesweepers here. And nothing further in terms of tech for either Soviet player. The Germans with repair Pioneers. A bit early, but not necessarily bad. 2-2, they're taking heavy fire, and we got Panzer Grenadier there for Dietrich, adding some more serious firepower to his front line. Engineers sneaking up, they could move over there, but Captain Speirs, this is in many cases actually a big blind spot in most players. I mean, I didn't actually know it existed for months, but it existed, you can sort of move about there, so sneaky little play there by Captain Speirs, though in this case the engineers aren't exactly the best troop to flank with, you know. Watch out, I have a minesweeper. My god, he has... Wait, what? I mean, it's not really much of a threat set being equipped, you know, with something with a bit more potency, but I guess it's just, you know, he wants to show it's there, I guess. So now they're catching up. It's about to hit 20 kills. Pretty good work there by Dietrich. Pretty good work. Putting a sniper to solid practice. Fultz moves to the penal troops getting shot hits by the HVT-40 semi-automatic rifles. Fultz is doing the cannon backed up by an MD-34 he finally went for. A bit delayed there. I think he could add out sooner here versus the Bolsheviks. Still, better to have a machine gun at some point rather than never. McKenna on the way there for Hanyang as well. Dietrich's panzer is backing up with infantry. Machine gun though is surprisingly back here. Again, he might be worried about flanks or anything like that, but usually want to be using a machine gun much more actively to support your attacks. In fact, that was how the heavy machine gun was sort of envisioned. It was meant to suppress the defenders as the attacking troops advance. So him basically holding it back there does slightly undercut it. Machine gun advance, and we see here that Hanyang is being a bit more aggressive with his MG34. Constantly dealing with the conscripts. 2 versus the engineers. Backed up by a sniper as well. And we got the Luxembourg as well, the Leichter Aufklärungspanzer. And getting buttoned up here right in front of the field. And it's pretty bad news there for Hanyang. Pretty bad news. Almost taken out there, almost taken out. Sniper doing what he can, but it might not be enough here for the looks. Ooh, that was lucky. That looks just barely operable. Push up here, no anti-tank weapons though right at the front here for Dietrich. In fact, he has none. He's going to have to retreat the Panzer Grenadiers soon, because even if the Grenadiers get away, that just means the Panzer is going to want to get him focused down. So, unless he's planning a fast armoured rush, he's going to have to go for the Pack 40. I mean, had he gone for half-track, he could have been laying down Regal mines as the troops are pushing ahead, in which case he could have caught up the T-70 maybe in that, which would have been bad either there for Dietrich, but that's obviously not happening. Hanyang there, not quite taken up yet either. His look is being repaired there by the mechanized regiment repair Parnese, very good. And of course also very good in the sense he doesn't have to manage it. That's part, I think, of what makes the mechanized regiment operate really strong. You don't have to pull anyone away or do anything besides just the vehicle itself. It just frees up a lot of mental space to do things, which is why repair pioneers are just really handy. Lost the Sturm pioneers there. 2-2 falling back for repairs. Going to do some bouncing. Comes grabbing the point here. T-70 sweeping in and opening up the Grenadiere. T-70 is definitely paying itself off. And meanwhile, note while Artavick has been going for the T-70, putting pressure on with that, Captain Speirs has been using that opportunity to then pull ahead further tech step there. So good play there. Good coordination there between Captain Speirs and Artavick once more. So with the pressure the T-70 is applying there to the Germans, Artavick's Speirs is then trying to of course pull it from medium armor low, slightly a fast T-34 from 6. Good work there. He's almost wiped out. Bad move here for Dietrich. We can technically begin building the support armor core, maybe push out for something a bit more armoured. Oh dear. That Pack 4 ended up in a really bad spot there against the T-70. Counter as well there. Panzers are doing what they can with the Sturmgewehrs, but it's not quite having the impact there on the Russians. Dietrich they're serving for. Got some damage in there. I don't think the 2-2 is going to be able to take care of that on its own, no matter how much it wants to. Got the looks here, backing up infantry as they try to assault here through the warehouse, sort of industrial compound here, pushing back the guardsmen. Back here, troops healing reinforcing. No support core yet up here for Dietrich. That probably should be a priority, to be honest. As for Speirs, in fact, we got the T-34-6 on the way there, and we got Maxims on the way there for Artavick. Though noting no tech up. I mean, he could go for Guards Motor, heavy mortars, T-35s, all good. We could be planning armoured assault set up from the IS-2, later maybe T-35s. I mean, there are some potentials there for Artavick. So we'll see what ends up. I mean, that's also, anti-infantry and a KV-8, but, Kenner's creeping about. We can see that Hanyang is trying to back up the Dietrich there and put an end to the T-70 and its tiny tank tower. We got a cache up here. Interesting setup. So you have to protect the car for the fuel and of course provides them with more resources. It's also in that sense of the northern points one of the less exposed. They could theoretically go for this point instead. Penal troops engineers here, trying to deal with some Dagon fascists. We can have continued to creep ahead, trying to catch that T-70 and put it into a more explosive state. And there you go. Ambush, at least only one rocket hit. Doesn't quite finish off the T-70, a bit of bad moment. They got the T-34 out here for Speirs. bashing its way here through Hanyang's lines. Dietrich looks moving in there, controls being taken out. And there we go, wiped out. Panzer IV on the way for Dietrich. So the first German panzers on the way there. Stuckers for Hanyang could maybe indicate spec ops and a command panther. Not a personal huge fan of that move, but we'll see how it works out. And certainly with Artavick going from all support weapons, the Stuckers could work out there, but he's not facing off against Artavick, he's facing against Speirs, who's got more infantry, so that could go a bit either way. Not what he's doing here with the T-34. I'm not entirely sure it's full intention, but he's basically clearing up lines of movement and fire here, so it becomes more useful to support, for example, between these 2 points if he has to. Mine spotted, dealt with. Big pushy, and we got a Stuckers almost done there for Hanyang and the Speirs von Sauken. Panzer IV on the way there for Dietrich, pin machine being added. Noting that neither Hanyang or Artavick yet to go for doctrine. We're slowly approaching the 20-minute mark. T-34 blasting with its main gun, follows they're taking some minor losses. Carter 4 they're being hit by guardsmen. Up here in the west we've got the Sniper MG42, Panzer IV and Pack all just laying it down here on Artavick. Guardsmen out there for Captain Speirs to just further reinforce the front line, as it is slightly showing perhaps some issues there for the factories, but not a lot. In fact, more looks like the German lines are struggling to sort of cope with the constant influx of Russian troops. Noted by us, Nazis switched over the T-70 to spotting for the field gun. Slight change in sort of say battle phases, so good play there by Artavick. Though of course can always be useful dealing with infantry, but until then can spot for the field gun nicely. Stuckers barrels there. Didn't quite have the impact there that Hanyang might have hoped for. I mean, obviously another solution would be just for Dietrich to pull up a mortar, lay down a smoke and then charge ahead with the infantry and the Panzer IV, in which case we could probably overwhelm it and clear out the T-70 possibly at the same time. I feel like some players tend to underestimate. And there we go, more or less sync in unison there. Armored assault and spec ops, and pretty much what anyone would have expected. So Hanyang's going to like to go for the command panther, and Artavick is clearly stalling for the IS-2 now, relying on Speirs then to provide their medium armour, sort of keep the front unoccupied, whereas other medium armour as it then pulls the big tanks. And similarly Hanyang is kind of doing the same. They're relying on Dietrich to stall with his medium armour until he pulls out the Panther, command panther, and then I guess the long term plan is for Dietrich to use that to stall into the Elephant heavy tank destroyer. But yeah, I definitely think Dietrich should consider a mortar for some smoke screens. People I think tend to underestimate just how useful it is to lay down a smoke screen in the enemy's position to be attacking, which is definitely unfortunate. It's great for the ones who aren't getting smoked, but obviously pretty bad for the other chap's troops. Consuls wiped out. Here we got the T-34 from 6 rolling about here trying to murder some fascists. We got Luke simmering about 13 kills, getting shot at bit with them from tank rifles. Verdammte Russen, stop shooting at us! Niet! Damn it, it never works. Sturmpion has brought freshly out here for Hanyang, for minesweepers. He's obviously worried about Russian mines. Panzer IV, they're being buttoned up. We got airstrike called. Oh, it's a bombing run. Oh, cheeky Speirs. Shatters a defenseless shed. Panzer IV falling back. Guys are getting blasted, Betchany Fleet, 18 kills. 2 to 2 forced to fall back, so close to losing it though. Dietrich would probably get away with considering another Panzer IV. And again, a mortar. He really needs a mortar. So far, the ones that have mortars is actually the Russians. So now we do have mortars and maxims here of Artavick. Katyusha there for Speirs. Panzer IV needed some repairs. Bit of quad here between the two sides. Bit of skirmishing, some few hits here and there, but nothing serious. Both sides are preparing for something now. Obviously, Artavick is just trying to set up for the IS-2. Speirs might be slowly beginning to roll ahead for something else. Hanyang can go for the Command Panther, and Dietrich is going for Tier 4 now? Oh, it's just, I think he's now trying to stall for the Elephant with just a Panzer 4. So Hanyang definitely just needs to call in that Panther, that Command Panther. And there you go. Befehlspanzerkampfwagen 5 gefechtsbereit. Kenro's carrying about here again, trying to catch the T-center. There's a lot of angry Russians in the way. Flares up here from Hanyang, possibly to look out for some targets. And as all this happens, we can see that Captain Speirs initiates the assault here with a nice rocket barrage. Tanks moving in, infantry moving up as well here. Germans scrambling here for better cover. Panther moving forward, the cover doesn't go too far ahead here. Blindly getting buttoned up there by the Gasp in the centre here. Dietrich's Panthers there close, being warmed up. Kenner trying to catch the T-70. This time both rockets hit. One more hit, but the T-70's already beyond the range. Here we can see Hanyang fending off Speirs' attention. We've got airstrike. Oh, there's an airstrike called in the west here to further try and break up the German strong point here around the centre. In the east though, Hanyang continues to hold, but at the same time that means he can't assist his teammate in the west. As Dietrich is slowly giving ground, they can't hold a fuel point there. People swimming up, Gasp is slowly advancing here. Hanyang's forces are being slowly bred ground. We got an HV fire for Speirs to help deal with the Command Panther. Rocket fire down, mostly smashing apart the scenery, but now the Russians. And there we go, Artavick's IS-2 has arrived with its 122mm cannon. D-54 bounces off the Panther's armor. Troops in reinforcing. I should fire out here for Speirs. Rifle grenade off. IS-2 hammering away. Give me this loaded pulse. We got the Pack 40 on these snipers still swimming in there. Panther 4 out there for Dietrich. Not too far off though from the Elephant tank destroyer. We'll have to see if it ends up with an IS-2 there for Speirs at some point. At which point we'd have a lot of heavy tank destroyer slash assault guns in the field, plus some heavy armor overall. Choose your fire raining down here. Trying to snuff out that Pack 40. Most of the rockets are going wide off at the moment, as it turns out. Dietrich is not a great artilleryman. But it's a close being wound out here. Almost dying. Incendiary explosion around that, stopping up some of the conscripts. And there goes your fire opening up the Panther 4. Pack 40 did go down in the end. IS-2 moving ahead. We got the Command Panther trying to flank up, backed up by Kidnappers. Gets the issue 5, bit of blow there to Captain Speirs. Command Panther there taking heavy damage. T-54 still pushing back like Kidnappers. Got one wiped. Likely we'll see the other one wiped as well by the machine gun flying out of things. Yes, both the Kidnappers down, quite lost there. Hanyang pushed him too far ahead and got punished. Infantry's retreating as well, nothing to back up the Panther now, and like Kidnappers cannot be destroyed fast enough. So good work there by Speirs. Good push, punishing Hanyang, I think, therefore not taking him seriously enough, and also just opening those with Kidnappers. Grenade assault fails to really hit its mark. Stupid was down and doesn't really do a lot again. As for Dietrich, he's got the Elephant ready, but he needs to make some better pushes, and he really should go for a mortar. Victory points wise, the Russians do have a lead over the German army. Fortunately, this is Guardsman. Back here, Hoop, troop ceiling reinforcing. Katusha's there. Actually, no kills so far. But imagine the Stukas doesn't got many more on. The 6 kills. Luke Speirs just seems to have forgotten a bit there by Hanyang. 30 kills on the Guardsman. Pretty good work there by Captain Speirs. Pretty good work. And the Elephant is mobilized here for Dietrich. For the Speerverbande von Sauchen. with its 88mm high velocity gun, same as used on, well, pretty much every other German heavy tank destroyer, and the King Tiger. So a little fun fact there. Was quite potent and could pretty much knock out any, I think, enemy tank in the war that got hit by it. Continuing against the gun, seeing a few hits. Elephant just hanging back. Command Panther got backed up here, but looks a bit of infantry nearby. Artavick, this seems to be having a nice easy time. He's not being pressured a lot here by Dietrich. The Elephant's slowly moving ahead. Mortar's got 2 kills, nothing much else happening there. There we go, pulling head backed up with the Elephant, the Panther charging forwards, supporting the Grenadiers there by the centre victory point. There we go, Veterans 1 gained, Filgun shoots, easily penetrates the Panther Horse frontal armour. Grenadier, Panzer Grenadiers got the Thyssen of course acting as a spotter for the field gun, good work there by Artavick. Gas getting bombarded here by the looks, slowly approaching Veteran feeder, which certainly will add a bit more fun to the proceedings. Guardsman almost dead. Guardsman have been blasted by the MG-34 inside the house. And we got more Raketenfeuer there, trying to smash the fascists apart, but not quite hitting the mark. Thyssen hanging back there, very close to the A's level. IS-2 not doing too much there, and he just a bit of a standoff of the sort of weird kind. Not so much a Mexican standoff, more of a Greek mess standoff, I guess. IS-2 shoots, misses the Grenadiers, though does give them some very dirty clothes. And we got the Stukas there trying again to actually hit a mark and murder it. No real success there. 2-2 there, but he's still alive here for Dietrich. 14 kills, definitely not bad, not bad. Obviously not quite on the same level as the looks. Elephant now to hit on the T-34, and of course now, if you didn't know about it before, they know now there's an elephant. I wonder what he's planning with that Command Panther all the way over there. In the centre they're mostly just grinding down, nothing really big on the west side. We got another fuel cache up here for the Allies. I mean, they got 2 fuel caches of the Germans who've gotten... Oh, actually we got one here going out for Dietrich. A bit late to the party with that one, but again, better late than never. Panther 4 moving up. Also being pushed back, gasping up PMs as well. Steel Pioneers a bit on the defensive, and we got the MD-34 inside the house. Another Katyusha for Artavick. No, that's a Katyusha for Artavick, not another one. Though of course that means he has tagged up, which is good. Mines on the flank there, not bad at all there by Hanyang. Double fuel caches up there, alright. They're noting that Hanyang doesn't have a lot of outlets for it since he doesn't have a Scrap Panzer to quarters, so he can of course build one in the first place. As for Dietrich, we'll have to see what he does with the extra fuel from the 2 fuel caches. Dietrich getting some good hits against the Panther. We got a marked vehicle as well there, quickly forcing Hanyang to pull back his Command Panther unless he faces a very explosive death. Forces are fighting around the workshop area, desperately laying down sandbags. In the centre here we can see the Germans being pushed back. We got a Sturmwing attack inbound. Troops being caught up and they're trying to move into the defence centre victory point. Aircraft those taking hits here from the 2-2 and its auto-cannon amongst other things. Troops they just need to get out of there. Not looking good. And these Katyushas right there pretty much forces away all of Hanyang's infantry defending the fuel point, leaving the right flank also now quite weak. Dietrich there going for more Panther 4's not bad. I really would recommend a mortar for some smoke screens. Who there might get a few aircraft shot down maybe. But overall the artillery strikes are raining down here. Artavick joining in with his own artillery piece. Good coordination there again between Speirs and Artavick. Good work. Panther 4 almost done. In the centre there, Russians pulling forward as well. Troops reinforcing healing. Panther 4 being fixed up. Still not a lot happening here. More Katyusha fire, this time those Speirs. Oh, he's now gone for double Katyushas. That's a total of 3 Katyushas. Though 3 Katyushas does mean they're theoretically weak to armor if the Germans can actually, you know, pull together for a proper armored attack. But so far, their armored tactics do seem to be not fully complete. Luke's going for the penal troopers there, hammering away with the autocannon. OKW shoots and spectacularly misses the looks, leaving the crew, I imagine, most pleasantly surprised. Have you not dead, Fletch? Have you not dead? Why are we happy about this? We shouldn't be, I mean, obviously be happy about death, but we shouldn't be, you know, ecstatic that we didn't get horribly murdered. P-44 then being pulled back. Very close to the ace level there for Speirs. Nice work. Finally a push here, but no, by the way, the IS-2 has just been utterly passive. I do think in this regard, Artavick's not been handling the IS-2 too well. Again, he's not gone too passive there. Elephant moving ahead. And again, the overall, this side of the sector has just been completely just exciting. So finally having to see some work happening there, but again, Mortar's been doing so great here for Dietrich. Would have been amazing even. Instead, bit of a push and then falling back. Bit of a push, then falling back. Artavick, I think, needs to do a bit more with the IS-2 here. I mean, there's no point in going for an IS-2 if you're then going to use it as a, you know, self-propelled doorstop. Panzerwall there, very close to Betsy 2. And not quite there. Speirs, I believe, is setting up here for the ISU 152. That's for Artavick. This clue is planning for, except apparently also a ton of Katyushas. In fact, now they have both 2 Katyushas for a total of 4 Katyushas. I mean, it seems like they just decided the Germans are just going to dig in and sit about doing nothing. They're just going to, you know, hit them with as many rockets as they can. And, well, that kind of makes sense. But again, I do feel like Artavick could tend to be a bit more aggressive. So we'll see what happens next. It's now there with 39 kills. Actually, never mind, that's 59 kills. 59 kills on that sniper. And then he dies to a rocket. Pantherwall getting eventually 24 kills, but a lot of damage there being pushed back. Those Katyushas are beginning to certainly pay themselves off nicely. Kennedy's moving ahead. Come on, Panther murdering away. They're 8 kills. Not too bad. Infantry repulsed. Still would think it would be a great idea there for Dietrich to go for a mortar. Against smoke screens would do a lot in trying to push forwards. More Katyusha fire here, making it hard to repair, and also might risk taking out the 222. Wouldn't be a huge loss at this stage for him, but you know, would be nasty. And also, he's not pulling back the Panther 4, which is getting blasted there by the field gun. That was definitely less than what I wanted here. Oh, bombing strike inbound. No, airstrafe. Airstrafe. Still unpleasant there for the infantry, which are forced back. Overall, the Germans seem to have become rather passive, and the tactical approach has also, I would say, suffered a few hits as well. As the Russians are just slowly squeezing them further and further back towards the bases. Cash down, good work there. In fact, that leaves only 1 cash left here for the Germans. 200 points left for them as well. The Russians certainly starting to look very strong. Stupid Swiss fires, 11 kills. Almost got the field gun, but beyond that, not really much of an impression. Skirmishing in the east, at least some more intense fighting action. Now that you should look at the larger scale of it, but not really sort of good for the Germans there either. No armor support. Repairs happening here. Units are getting murdered by all the Katyusha fire. And there we go. Captain Speirs pulls up the ISU 152. Pantherwall dealing with advancing conscripts, and he's attempting to. So he's struggling to repair all the armor that got damaged here, which is definitely a bit of a problem. Nice hits on the 2 lost, I think, a machine gun bunker there maybe by the sound of things. And Dietrich is aiming for 3rd Panzer IV. Still no mortars though, still no mortars. And it is the close being wiped out by the Katyusha fight and the T-70 Panzer IV moving it off with a repair. Elephant just hanging back. The German effort starting to look a bit sloppy here against the Russians. Speirs by the way said full pop cap there. Artavick though does have about 20. There you go. We got a Panther pulling through. I think it's getting a bit reckless there, but it does mean the west side is actually open here. It's a good push, could grab the victory upon the infant and the fuel. Of course, at the same time, these things are starting also to get pressured. Elephant moving ahead. Could try and take out the T-70 there, but I guess he decides not to. The veteran Panther IV is good to go, and we got a unit wiped. Dietrich's being to take more losses. Reinhard Granate off. Pilchers with the Panzer IV. I shoot with 3 kills, switching out to, I believe, armor piercing. Yes, indeed. I'll kill something with it. I shoot T-54 moving around. Got Mark vehicle off there from Speirs. Whoa! Almost got the elephant. Machine gun fire against the aircraft here. We got the Panther being pushed back here by the Russians. Now let's trick us with barrage. T-7 was taking that engineer, certainly suffering. Got 18 kills, eventually 2 down. The Stukas Rus Panther was going to hit back up with the 222. Constant Gloria by the Panzer IV. And looks like there's some sort of coordinated German attack here in the centre. Lots of armor concentrating now. Panzer IV's Panthers, 222 Luxus, Elephant, they're not there, infantry moving in. Getting a bit chaotic here. I think the Germans getting a bit reckless. I had enough at it. They might just try and make some sort of all-in push. But at the same time, not all the armor's keeping pace. He's got the T-7, there's still the T-45 and the IS-2. Field gun taking out. The Panther pushed back here. Heavy damage to it. Panzer IV with the main gun out, so he can't back it up. Elephant's not there. Panzer IV in trouble here with the ISU. 4 kills. And there you go. Panther down below there to the German army. 2-2 rolling head. Elephant is moving up finally. Rather delayed though. Close to Veteran 2. Intense fighting there as the German armoured spearhead is being broken apart here in firm fashion there by the Russians. T4 being flanked by the Panther IV, 2-2 down. Panther IV moving up here as well. Elephant shooting, gets off a decent hit. Panther IV there taking hits from the IS-2 and the T-45. Veteran 2 by the way on the IS-2. Good work there by Artavick. Almost got the Panther IV. Almost got it. T-44 the 76 is ace level. Quite a bit of damage can do. Almost got the Panther IV there. Dietrich's Panzer IV is down. Elephant there very close to Veteran 2. There we go, Veteran 2, T-45 down. Further off there, I shoot 5 kills. Certainly starting to look pretty bad there for the Germans. Starting to look pretty bad. Straight from around, they're just murdering the German infantry as they're trying to retreat here. Dietrich's barely got anything left except most of his armor, but not enough to immediately repair it. Hanyang's looking a bit better, but even then he is struggling here under the weight of the Russian advance. Artavick in this case, I would think the brunt of this assault west. Speirs is still, I think, in a pretty strong position, so if he coordinates correctly, he will probably make another push soon enough. Maybe backed up by Artavick and they could probably together crush the Germans, unless the Germans pull off something really inspired. Looks is actually 25, 40 kills, pretty impressive work. The aircraft shut down. He's finally got a Schwerpanzer quarters by the way, but still feels a bit late. Orbison on there could get some assault rifles out the munitions. Aircraft being shot down left and right, and we got the mechanized regiment finally going down, leaving the Germans with 3 options for repairing their stuff easily. A machine gun left behind in no man's land. Panzer being pushed back by the Ace T-54 going for it, shoots, misses. The veteran fleet T-54 has a pretty high rate of fire. Here we got the veteran 2 Panzer the T-55. Both bouncing off each other's armour. I shoot with 5 kills. Sounds like the IS-2 is good to go once more for the Red Army. Gassen kills as well as the Volksgrenadiere. Got the Panzer moving about, Panzer being pushed back, close to the ace level, but it's also close to death, and most likely will hit death before it hits Veteran 3. Shot bounced, and there you go, knocked out by the IS-2's 122 mm shell. Elephant there, Veteran 2 got the T-55. Can he get the Elephant? Or the IS-2, I mean, not the Elephant. That's his own. In the eastport, rocket fire here, just shattering the German lines. Hanyang can't hold on. Dietrich has got more or less nothing left. His forces are non-existent. He's down to 2 Pioneer squads and an Elephant tank destroyer. Hanyang still got infantry, he's got armor, but that's about it. He's got no real foothold. And anti-tank may finish off the Panzer IV. Almost got the IS-2. They should be able to get with the Elephant. And pop goes the Weasel in most explosive fashion, but not really, I think, what's going to win them the war. Here we got the Ace T-54 going for it. He's going to ram it! Oh! Blimey! Stands up the Elephant not to get the L1. He's used an Ace T-54 to ram the Elephant. I guess he just didn't care at that stage. Katyusha fire there almost got the Elephant, and Stuka bomb strike off somewhere, but not quite enough. Elephant there with a tiny, minuscule, microscopic sliver of health somehow managed to haul its way out of the battle. Panzer going in here for the ISU-152, but sadly I fear it's not going to be enough. And there it goes, down it goes, abandoned behind enemy lines. And I think it's safe to say it is GG at this stage. The Germans have been utterly spent. The Speer Verband von Sachen has been shattered, and with that, game over. A loss for Germany, a victory for the Red Army. A brutal slaughter here. And while the Germans, I think, initially sort of did well, in the end, I think in part Dietrich there was just way too just straightforward. Like, there was no attempt at really flanking, no smoke screens, you know, which is usually be helpful when you're making up attacks, and he was also in some cases too passive, and more than happy just, you know, grind himself down. Compared to Hanyang, I felt it a bit better, but ultimately still didn't really drag himself out. Compared to, I think, the Russians just overall did better. Good maneuver, good teamwork, and reasonably good use of the assets. They could have done with some smoke as well, possibly finish off the fight sooner, but there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, share with your friends, family, enemies. Perhaps none of those. And, you know, if you like what we do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Every donation allows me to keep doing this day after day. So do consider this Imperial links and cheers though. Thank you all for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another exciting episode. Bye.